I'm Tori's aunt, so thank you for having me here today. My hope for today is that you'll all walk away feeling empowered and like you can make a difference in the world, because you can. Have you ever wondered what life is like on the other side of the world? What people eat, where they live, what their houses look like? I always have. I've always been very intrigued by other cultures, other ways of life. A few years ago, I found myself traveling through West Africa. And I ended up settling down in Ghana. And let me try this. There we go. And living in a small village community. And it was there that I was finally able to see firsthand another way of life. And I got a genuine glimpse of how other people live. Something that amazed me right off the bat was how happy and friendly everybody was. The streets were full of smiling faces, and everybody was so helpful, and they just wanted to be around me and help me whatever I needed to do. And I was so impressed with how happy they could be with so very little. I became very intrigued with the education system there because there seemed to be children everywhere, sort of just playing or hanging out or working, kind of just roaming the streets. And I thought, there must be something preventing them from going to school. And I couldn't help but see them and wonder, what is it? What are these obstacles that's preventing them from getting an education? Something that I noticed right away was simply the distance from their house to school. And in a world where walking is the main mode of transportation, that poses a great obstacle, right? If you have to walk miles to get to school, you might not make it. Especially if you're barefoot, because many of the children there don't have shoes. Shoes are a luxury. I thought to myself, and I tried to think way back when I was your age, for example, and I tried to think, would I make that walk? Would I get to school if I had to walk for miles and I had to do it barefoot? Something else that I noticed right away was just a simple lack of resources. Pens, paper, pencils, electricity. They don't have electricity in their homes. So if a student wanted to read a book after the sun went down, where do they do that? Sorry, I'm behind on my slides. Where can they do that? There's no library, for example. The nearest library is a 2-hour walk to the next town. I started visiting the schools in the area, and I went to the primary school, and I was able to talk with the principal, and I asked him, what are some of these obstacles? What's standing in the way of children getting an education? What's inhibiting them from attending class? And he told me that 6 months out of the year, it rains. And 6 months out of the year, it's dry. And it's hot the whole year. So in the dry season, all the crops dry up and die. And when the crops dry up and die, the families have saved food for this season expecting it to come. But inevitably, at the end of the season, there are a few months where they're simply out of food, and there's not enough to go around. So he told me that the children don't come to school because they're too hungry. They're too hungry to do that walk that I was talking about earlier. And again, I asked myself, and I would encourage you to do the same, would you make it if you had to walk for miles to get to school, barefoot, and if you were hungry? Despite some of these obstacles, there we go, the schools were overflowing. The children wanted to go to school. There weren't enough schools, in fact. I went to the 3rd grade classroom, and there were 70 kids in the 3rd grade classroom. 4 students in one desk with one teacher. And I'm sure you can imagine what that would be like, having 70 kids in your classroom. The teachers said they can't assign homework because they would never have time to grade it all. And as I started to learn more about the education system, what I found were children with this deep inner desire to learn. And I was really impressed with the lengths that they would go to and the obstacles that they would overcome. Just for a simple elementary school education. You know, something that was given to me freely and openly, they had to really work for it. And so I began working with the community there and talking to some of the community leaders, and they told me that what they really wanted for their village was a library, a place with electricity, a place with paper, pens, pencils, books, everything I was talking to you about earlier, and a place where anyone could go if they wanted to learn. And so I'm happy to say that we've built the library, if I could find it. There it is. We've also started to implement programs where we started a hot lunch program so that students who come to school are not leaving hungry. We started teacher incentive programs to keep the teachers motivated, and as well as student incentive programs to keep them motivated. This is just what I'm doing. This is something that I'm doing. I have lots of information about it. I have necklaces that I sell that benefit this community. But what I want for all of us is just that we use the gifts and the blessings that we've been given to do good work in the world and to be better people. And I just want you to know that I believe in each of you, and I believe in myself, and I believe that together we can build this better future. And so I just want you to think, I keep going the wrong way, sorry. Okay, so this is the school feeding. The kids bring their containers to class, and the lunch ladies fill them up. Sorry, I forgot to get that one. And I just want you to think, what can you do? And just kind of brainstorm that on your own. How can you make a better future? Because there's lots of things that we're all capable of doing. And just so you know, any little bit makes a big difference. Like, for example, the lunch program, it costs 20 cents a day to feed a student. I mean, that's like, change in our pockets. And so that doesn't seem like a lot to us, but to them it's huge, right? To come to school and be fed. So, this is, like I said, just what I'm doing, but I want you guys to think about what you can do. And that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you.